Hello, this is Steve from Beato's Leatherworks. Today's project is these cool Crockett Jones pebble grain boots. Now they're fairly in good shape. I mean, you might ask, why is he getting work done to it? Well, the problem is that they're too narrow for his foot, okay? So we need to change the footbed. Basically, we're gonna take it all apart, put a new footbed in, make it a little wider, and put the split welt in, send it back to the customer. It's a mail order, and have them try it on, make sure it fits good, brought back to me, send back to me, and then we put the finishing touches on it. All right, let's get started. Leather heel base, which is good. Threaded nails or ring shank nails, which is very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Not bad. Now these nails right here are nailed from the inside of the shoe or boot. So basically what I do, some cobblers leave those, they cut it, leave it there. That's a no-no. I don't like doing that. So I line up the edge of the nails to the edge of the last right here. And when you hammer it, the nails will go on the side and you can pick them from the inside. So you're not really hitting it on the last. You're hitting on the edge of the last. And you can feel it. See, now that's hitting on the last. You move it over just a little bit. You see? Now you can get them out from the inside. There she be. Okay. That's how you do that. And you just pull them one by one. And there she goes. Also, it's got leather midsoles, wooden shanks, leather footbed. So, all positive on this Crockett Jones boot. So before we take the footbed out, we've got to put some marks, the guidelines there, right? Guide marks. This is just a waxed pen. We mark the uppers. 5, 6 areas you can mark. Then you can put the marks on the footbed. Line up with the yellow marks. When you go ahead and take your footbed and trace it to cut it out, all you got to do is transfer those marks onto the new footbed. And when the new footbed comes on, those marks should line up with everything. That way everything stays center. It doesn't shift on you or it doesn't lose shape. All right, let's continue. All right, so we've got our footbed in. We're stitching our split welt on. But something is just not sitting right in my mind. I'll be more at ease once the customer gets them and tries them on and lets me know how they fit. I just have, it's difficult when it's a mail order. You just don't have the customer here to come and try it on and to make some adjustments that you have to, during the process of putting everything back together. So once this gets done, we'll box it up and ship it to the customer, and then keeping my fingers crossed that it'll contact me right away and not sit on it. And then I'll know if it's going to work or not, or how well it's going to work. Not that it's going to work. It will work. It's just it might require a little bit more Might require a little bit more oomph. So we're getting there slowly but surely. These are nice boots. Now, in my last video, I said not to ask questions in the comment section. That's not what I meant. What I meant to say is that, like, don't ask questions about a job that you have, because I really don't know what I could do if I haven't seen the item. So you can always email them to me, bedos@yahoo.com, BEDOS @yahoo.com. And if you want, what I would recommend, highly recommend, please, if you have a question about an item, send some pictures of what you have. Don't just send me an email, say, oh, I have, hey man, can you fix this? With no pictures or anything. I don't know I don't know how to respond to emails like that. It's just, it would save me a lot of time if you can kind of ask all your questions with pictures of an item that you want repaired or restored, whatever, in the first email, you know? Because I go back and forth like 6 or 7 emails and we still haven't seen the pictures of the item yet. You know, it's becoming a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Not tedious, but time consuming. Really, that's the word I'm looking for. Time consuming. I mean, you've got some item that you want me to look at? No problem. Send me a picture. Steve, I have a bag. Here's a strap that's broken. What can you do? And, you know, how much it'll be, blah, blah, blah. Just like that with a couple of pictures. Top, bottom, right. You know, this way I know exactly what you have. That way I can approach to answer as best as I can. And we're done, you know. All right. That's what I meant to say in the last whatchamacallit, last video. Man, I did like five welt jobs like this today. Oh, my fingers are about exhausted. This is my last one. That's enough. This takes a stress on your fingers, you know. Let me go home and put them in some, I don't know, what would be best, cold water or hot water? I'll have to do some research. Let's see which one would work best. Oh, these little ties that we have here, maybe some of you guys are wondering. What I do, I tie the footbed at the marks that I put on. You see those marks? This way everything is centered. It's not moving around. Because it does happen that if you don't have the footbed secured to the uppers, by the time you come around corners, it will move on you, and then you lose shape of the boot or shoe, and it looks like crap after it gets done. Then you got to start all over again. So that's what that is. All right, let's continue. All right, so these are ready to go back to the customer. Now this is just the mock-up, so he can stand and balance. We'll remove that once we get it back. Now they look a little bit wide, but once the soles come in, I'll adjust the width a little bit and make it look a little bit more presentable than what they are. So hopefully this will fit them nicely, and then once it comes back, we'll put the finishing touches on it. All right, let's continue. All right, so these finally came back from the customer, where we had to, you know, get fitted, make sure that it fit him before we went ahead and continued the job. So now we gotta put the JR soles on and finish the job. Can't wait. Got our soles stamped and dyed and cleaned up. Sometimes I'll dye the bottoms and then stamp them if I'm going to do maybe like a gold stamp. I'll do the dyeing first because You can't stamp the soles once they're on the shoes. You have to stamp them separately. And other times I just do it with no color, just an impression, which is called debossing. Not embossing, but debossing. What's up, President? Y'all know what time it is. Hammer time. These are some nice boots, man. Now they're just wide enough to fit the customer's foot. Okay, I'll be right there. Let's continue. All right, we didn't do that good of a hammer time last time because the customer came in, so let's do some more hammer time. Hammer time. All right, so we're going to put Triumph solid brass French tips on here, just like that. As there's two kinds of Triumphs. This is the 3mm, the thickness, which is solid brass. This one is brass plated, which is 1.5mm, half the thickness of the solid brass. And then there is the Lulu French tips. It's a steel also, and the customer opted for the heavy solid brass Triumph tips. Now these look really nice on these heavy double oak soles. Whenever you have got a midsole, the soles are thick, this looks so much classier than the other one. So this is what we're going to do. All right, let's continue. Yes, a fresh blade. I know, I'm telling you. This day will go in history. Good afternoon, Beto's Leather Works. Can I help you? May I put you on hold 1 second? Thank you so much. Let's continue. Now these need to be flush with the sole. It's very important to do that because if it's not, then it's not going to look right. And you know, some people need to practice a little bit. I'm not perfect either at it, but I try my best to make that even as possible. That looks good. Once it gets done, we'll, you know, after stitching, trim it, we'll sand that flush. It will look marvelous, darling, marvelous. All right, so let me show you guys a little detail I do here. Now, since this is a lot deeper than this right here, when you're stitching it, sometimes the little presser foot gets caught on this and it really messes everything up. So what I normally do when it's heavy tips like this, when we were putting French tips on these solid brass, I make a little ramp like that. So gradually it goes up to the height of that, and the stitcher has no problem crossing over it and you know, making a decent stitch, not messing things up. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I mean, I would put all this time into it, and every time I try to stitch something like that, I get nervous right at the tip of it, and there's always something that goes on that messes that up. No more. Little ramp right here. Cool. That's it. That's easier to stitch it. Gradually it'll go up and go over. Right. So here goes nothing, really nothing. I've got a love and hate with this machine. This is a solid machine called Rapid E, but again, you know, this is a crapshoot. See what happens. All right, there goes nothing. You son of a bitch. That's what happens when you have big feet and you're stepping on the wrong pedal. That had happened after I was done. Remember that little ramp right there? Worked out pretty good. Alright, let's see. Oh, thank God. Oh my God. Nerve-wracking. Alright, I'm happy. I can breathe now. Let's continue. All right, welcome back. We're done with another project. This particular job was a little over $800, and it took me some time to get it done because we had to go back and forth with the customer. Anytime you're changing a size of the footwear, you're doing it without a last, it becomes problematic because you want to make sure everything fits after you get done. Things happen, unfortunately, but this time, you know, want to make sure the fit was good. We took a bunch of measurements, assembled the boot halfway, sent it to the customer, had them try it on, wiggle their toes, and everything fit good, and was sent back to me to put the final touches on it. And the end result, I think it turned out very nice. They're beautiful boots. Crockett Jones is a top of the line footwear, and it shows that the construction they were built. So I'm glad it's done. Customer's happy, I'm happy, and off to the next project. Now, I'm a bit backlogged with work again, and I'm doing the best I can to catch up with all the jobs. So hang in there with me. I promise I'll get to yours. One bag, one jacket, one pair of shoes at a time, and I'll let you guys know when things are ready. All right, so if you haven't subscribed, please do so. That would help the channel out greatly. Let's see if we can kind of get those numbers up a little bit. And if you want to leave a comment, please do so. If you have any questions, give us an email. Send us an email, bedos@yahoo.com, bedos@yahoo.com, and I'll do my best to answer it in a timely manner. All right, thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you guys on the next project. Take care.